On today's show, a Dallas franchise trading a 25-year-old superstar to a contending team for a package that wasn't as much as market value should be, and then trying to say that defense is the reason why you traded this player is a great way to give no confidence in your front office. I'm talking about both the Mavericks and the Cowboys, and today it's Locked On Mavs. Stop it! Stop! The number one pick will go to the Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flagg will fly in Dallas.
Dogs, all of us, all five.
You are Locked On Mavs. Great, your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast.
No one's dying.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave.
Your team every day.
I'm gonna get a city like that.
And welcome. You're locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, covering the Mavs for 10 years. Thanks for being an everydayer, making Locked On Mavs your first listen each and every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Joining me, as always, my co-host, media member, covering the Mavs for 10 years, right alongside me, the Cowboy crooner, the One More Thing King. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
There hasn't been too many times in my life that I've felt bad for Cowboys fans. I've never been a Cowboys fan. Didn't grow up in Dallas, and I've genuinely felt bad for Cowboys fans today. It's just kind of it's not exact, but a lot of Mavs fans, and it's especially the crossover ones, the diehard Cowboys fans, the diehard Mavs fans.
Yeah.
There's a lot of jokes being thrown out, and we're going to throw out a lot of jokes. But I genuinely feel bad for you guys because that is just heartbreaking. Swartz means a lot to a lot of people, and it just sucks, man.
This and the Dez catch are the two times that I felt bad because I also didn't grow up here. But man, just a brutal time. So we'll talk about that because today we're going through the rest of our Locked On Mavs fan survey results, and we were going to talk about our questions about the front office, about Nico Harrison, about Patrick Dumont, about Jason Kidd, about the pressure to replace Luka. Are you over the trade? Has your fandom changed? Those are the questions we're going to talk about from the survey today. And it just so happened to happen on the day that Micah Parsons gets traded to the Green Bay Packers. If you're not a Cowboys fan, or if you're not an NFL fan, don't really understand why are you guys talking about the Cowboys on this, the similarities are hilarious. Our friends Marcus and Landon over on Locked On Cowboys literally opened their show with the Dallas Cowboys just made the worst trade in franchise history, which is very similar to the way we opened our show when the Luka trade happened. Micah Parsons was the best defensive player, pass rusher in the NFL. And he wanted a certain contract amount. He wanted 4 years. Jerry Jones wanted to give him 5 years because he wanted to get that second payday. And they were off on the numbers. And so Micah Parsons was sitting out. They were trying to figure out the contract thing. Jerry Jones was negotiating with Micah Parsons directly and trying to bypass the agent, which is actually illegal in the NFL. And you're supposed to get reprimanded by the NFL Players Association. And that wasn't happening.
Dude, I'm loving this Cowboys deep dive right now.
And then Micah Parsons is sitting out. We have the meme where he's laying down on the trainer's table during the preseason game, which is just a really bad look, which Luka would never done, by the way. But you just have this drama, which is what Jerry Jones lives off of. He lives off of that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, this trade happens. He gets sent to the Green Bay Packers. You have people that are respected like Mina Kimes who are saying that the Packers are now Super Bowl contenders because of this move. That's how much it moved the needle for them. And for the Cowboys, they get back a defensive tackle that's pretty good, above average, but declining, not a rising star or whatever. And then 2 first-round picks, which sounds pretty good, but it's not as much as what Khalil Mack got or other players like that. And so you look at that move, you hear guys like the Locked On Cowboys guys say it's the worst trade in franchise history, and it's so hard to not compare it to the Luka trade and what just happened. And I want to compare it in this way. There is no confidence in the Mavs front office from Mavericks fans right now. And I think it's the same with the Cowboys fans right now. That is a great way to lose credibility with a fan base, is to lose to lose the benefit of the doubt with a superstar player, to treat them poorly and to send them on their way and get back a package that's not as good, which is exactly what happened with the Mavericks. Our first question is basically this.
Why shouldn't you be fired?
We did that on the survey. Should Nico Harrison be fired right now? 70% said yes. 29% say no. And that's the first survey result that I want to look into, because there's just no confidence in this front office right now. And it's because of, honestly, because of that trade. There was tons of confidence in Nico Harrison before the trade.
Yeah. And I don't think we did it as probably as much as we should have yesterday at the beginning of saying, once again, this is a couple thousand people that filled it out. Doesn't represent the whole fan base. Obviously, social media and YouTube and some of that is probably skews younger compared to some of the Mavs fans out there. Has been Mavs fans for years, and just heard from a lot of people today of like, hey, you can't represent the whole fan base from. But I'm like, it is a good.
They should have answered on the survey then.
It is a good chunk, and it does give you a point of view of like where a good portion of the fan base is. And for Nico, the fact that the survey is at 70%, like that is so dang high. And I think the difference when you look at this, look at the trades, Jerry's been kind of like off his rocker for years. And so it's like, I think a lot of Cowboys fans have been used to it for a long time now. This was kind of like a cherry on top of the kind of craziness and crazy ride of it. For Mavs fans, it was like, we have this new character in our lives in Nico over, less than 5 years. And it's just like, bam, it feels like you're still in like the honeymoon phase with him. And then he just drops
the finals.
Yeah. And then he drops that type of trade. So it's like, you don't have it built up yet to make something like make that craziness happen. Yeah, so it's crazy. I shot this tweet out today, and it's just about like jerseys. I grew up, for Christmas asking for a jersey.
You have more jerseys than anybody I know.
I do have, and I kept all of them. But it's like jerseys were like expensive, like for me growing up, and it was like to get a jersey was like a big deal. It was only for like a birthday gift or a Christmas gift or whatever. And my mind, I don't know if it's just like, hey, Isaac, being too sentimental about it. I just went to like the families and the kids and stuff that's like, dude, we can only afford like, a couple jerseys. And it's like, you go to it. And I remember when I would used to pick out jerseys, I would never get like the random guys because I wanted something to be safe, because I knew I wasn't going to get 3 or 4 jerseys that year. Yeah. I wanted somebody that's going to be safe, that I know is going to be on the team for a long time. And 8 months ago, the safest jerseys you could possibly get in Dallas, in the whole city, is Luka and Micah Parsons. And now like they're both gone. And it's just like, that's where you lose credibility. I get the Cowboys are like a more global than
they're an institution.
Yeah, than the Mavs, and I get you're going to have fans, no matter what. There's already people zagging on it, which is my favorite. I love
the comments on Locked On Cowboys are amazing. It's like they're very similar to the script that some Mavs fans took to this one. Oh, why are you talking about the Luka trade? He wouldn't play defense. Now we got this defense. Like,
but yeah, the percentage in the question of should Nico be fired right now, 70%. Of the people. That's just really dang high. And I don't know what it would take for that percentage to go down drastically. A title, maybe.
I think it would take like 3 or 4 like really good trades where you think the Mavericks won 100%. Like instill confidence in the GM specifically, because he's not going to get any credit for this roster, right? Even if they do well, because it's going to be Cooper Flagg. Kyrie was already is here. Before the trade.
Well, he had been laying out a vision. It's just not everybody had seen it or could see it.
Be fired.
Until Cooper came in, and that's when we finally started seeing the vision.
That is true. That's why. So both Dallas fan bases have no confidence. At least the majority have no confidence in their front office. I think we can say that comfortably from the Cowboys. I've heard from every Cowboys fan friend that I have here in DFW, they're like, I just can't stand this team anymore. I'm done. Even listening to the Locked On Cowboys guys, they were like, man, just the fun has been taken out of the last couple of years because of the way that they've handled some of these things, like Amari Cooper and now Micah Parsons, and just some of these negotiations are just
and even some brutal. Of even some of the quotes that are coming out last night at their press conference about it was just, it was so deja vu about some of it. It's. We haven't been able to stop the run, and you got to be able to stop the run. It's like,
stop the run wins championships? Stop the run.
Yeah. And then I even saw like some fans being like, hey, this isn't Kenny Clark. It's not his fault. He's a good player. I was like, dude, I've ran this script.
Don't blame
like
AD.
I have these tweets like down in my drafts, for the AD thing. So it's just wild. It's the same like city and same like fan base overlap that is going through a really, really similar thing.
Even down to this comment from Princess Donut 34 on YouTube for the Locked On Cowboys.
Princess Donut.
This is my last Locked On Cowboys show, boys. I'm done. This is my last straw. I'm done with the Cowboys. Is the comment. How many of those do we get? I think I got hundreds of them when the Luka trade happened.
Oh, yeah.
In person, on YouTube, on Twitter, on
Instagram. I still get it in person of people. It's like, man, how you still doing the show? Like, I just not, just not really interested anymore. A lot of people in my life right now they just don't know what to do. I had a long conversation with somebody a few nights ago, and they were just like, yeah, he's like, man, what do I do? He's like, it's like he was stuck in this conundrum of, I want Luka to do good to prove Nico and them wrong, but I hate the Lakers and I don't want LeBron to like win. So it's like, but then I want the Mavs to do good for Cooper Flagg, but I also don't want them to be good because I want Nico to like get fired. And I think a lot of Mavs fans are in that same boat. They just don't know what to do right now with their fandom.
Last comment from Locked On Cowboys. Jerry told Nico, hold my beer.
Honestly, Nico's pretty happy right now.
Coming up, Mavs fans, according to the survey, do have confidence in one person in management. I'm going to tell you who that is and why I think they're right. Coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and I'm sure those Cowboys tickets are going to be a little cheaper than maybe you expected because I don't think people are very excited. Go check out Game Time. There's all kinds of great stuff all the time. I check it out all the time to see what is there. Packers at Cowboys. Sunday, September 28th. So a month from yesterday. That's coming up. You can get tickets for $108 right now. You can go right now and check those out. Those tickets that's going to be an insane event. That is almost going to be like the Mavs Lakers game for sure. Go check out that one. All kinds of great stuff as well. You can take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets and NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the promo code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go, download Game Time today.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad. That's what we call our listeners, listening every day. We appreciate you for checking out the show and listening. And maybe you want a reprieve from the Cowboys talk, and maybe we didn't fulfill that for you today. So I apologize. The parallels were too strong for me to not make that connection today and do that. We also have an important request. Locked On wants to hear from you. We put together a survey to hear more from our listeners. This is Locked On survey, not the Locked On Mavs one we just did. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't like, answer questions about our advertising. Go to LockedOnPodcasts.com/survey and get started. Everybody who completes the survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's LockedOnPodcasts.com/survey. Find the link in the description of this show. All right, Isaac, we're talking about our survey that we put on. A couple of thousand of you responded to the Locked On Mavs fan survey. We wanted questions about the Mavs fan experience right now. What you think about the Mavericks, what you think about the front office and all that. And here's one question, because I had this section about management, about Nico, about Patrick Dumont, about Jason Kidd. And there's one question that kind of surprised me. Do you want the Mavs to give Jason Kidd an extension? 67% said yes, and 33% said no on that. And that, to me, is there's at least one person in management that Mavericks fans have confidence in, and that's Jason Kidd. And I think if there was going to be one that they would have confidence in, I think it would be Jason Kidd. He's got the ear of the players. He has connections to all these guys. It seems like he reconfigured the assistant coaching group pretty well over this offseason. Obviously, he's got the trust of Kyrie Irving, which is massive. He's got the connection to Anthony Davis. He's already been singing the praises of Cooper Flagg, and so we'll see what he does with that. And he's already been saying the right things, in my opinion, about Cooper Flagg's development and putting the ball in his hands and making him the point guard and like pushing those skills for him forward. I think that's really important. And so, yeah, I think if they're going to give Jason Kidd an extension, I don't think I'd be mad about it right now.
Yeah, this goes to show me that like fans feel that Kidd was not part of the Luka thing, because it's really similar to the Nico vote, but the opposite, right? Like they want to extend Jason Kidd 67 to 33%, and Nico like fired 70 to 30%, like pretty similar percentages there. And the confidence in Kidd, I think a lot of fans understand the connection and how important it is to have a coach that has connections throughout the league, and having your star players. And if you did move on, or if Jason Kidd chose to move on this past summer, which there was more legs to that than some people. Move on. But if he did move on, like how would that impact Kyrie? Would some of the stars want to be there if you went from Kidd to like an up and coming type of coach or something like that? So, and he has been to 2 conference finals and a finals since he's been here. So he's had 2 really deep playoff runs. I mean, the franchise has only been to 3 finals in the history of the franchise, and he was a player on the winning one, and he was on this third one here. So. I understand that for fans. The percentage is a little bit higher than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be closer to a 50-50.
Same.
But I get it for sure. And I expect that extension to happen really, really soon.
Well, and he's been to more conference finals than Rick Carlisle was. Rick Carlisle went to 1, and then they won the finals that year. Jason Kidd has been to 2. Avery Johnson went to 1. Don Nelson went to 1. And then back in 1988, they went to 1. But he's been to more conference finals than any other coach in Mavs history, too. Just wild to think about. But yeah, the confidence in Jason Kidd I thought was very interesting. That's one I definitely looked at and said, "Oh, interesting." That Mavs fans have that much confidence in him compared to the lack of confidence in Nico. Speaking of which, we asked the question: do you give Nico Harrison credit for getting Cooper Flagg?
I was proud of you guys with this one.
Tell me. So this was your question you came up with. Why did you want to ask this one?
Because it's all based off the vision thing. And it's just like, when Nico drops that vision comment and referring to, getting Cooper Flagg, it became like, I mean, he was just getting roasted again online because from, national people and all the stuff. It's like, did this guy really just drop the, like, finally, the fan base? I'm pretty sure the question at the time was about repairing the relationship with the fans, and he dropped that, like, hopefully they can start to see the vision and stuff. And it's like, whoa, like there's nothing you did to get Cooper Flagg. Like you don't get any credit for that. This is literally someone in Monopoly sliding over a get out of jail free card and saying, hey, like you can just have this right now, and you can use this on your next turn. So
the day before the lottery, we got on this show and said the only way out of this mess that the Mavericks have created for themselves is to get the number 1 pick. The only way. And it happened.
So I was proud of, you didn't say the percentage, but 94% of people said no, Nico does not get credit for Cooper Flagg. And 6.5% of y'all said yes.
I've been trying to find the 6.5% that like what's the thought process? It's not a high number, but it is still a good amount of people.
Yeah.
Like dozens and dozens of people that think that Nico Harrison should get credit for Cooper Flagg. Maybe it's giving him credit for not trading the pick for like Giannis or another older star or something like that. And just like holding on to the pick and just take it. I think it's a stretch to say no to this question, like to say yes to this question.
Yeah.
You could also say that they tanked in a way, like even though it was all injuries and he wanted them to win the games. Like I don't know how far I can stretch this, trying to figure out what the thought process is to say yes, Nico Harrison does deserve credit for getting Cooper Flagg.
I can maybe see your point on that, like the person, if they traded Luka for just draft picks.
Yeah.
But he traded him for Anthony Davis, and the talk was we feel like, and the whole thing was winning now. We feel like this gives us a better chance to win because defense wins championships.
I've got it. They're giving him credit for making the deal with Mephisto and Adam Silver. They're giving him credit for that. You have to think that. If you answered yes, Nico Harrison does deserve credit for getting Cooper Flagg, it is because you think that some backdoor deal happened and he made it happen in that way. Sold his soul to get the Lakers a star because they desperately needed one. The league desperately needed an international star in LA to boost the ratings and to boost this, the stock price or whatever. The valuation of the Lakers before they sold the team, right? Like they had to do that. So everybody else's valuations could be raised too, because you're not going to be valued higher than the Lakers. And so they got up to $10 billion is what they sold for basically. And they're giving him credit for the backroom deal. That's what it is. I don't think it's anything else.
There you go. You got it. We found out the demographic for the 6.5%.
I think that's it. Coming up, I think Patrick Dumont is ... Bad for the Mavs, not a factor, good for the Mavs. This was fascinating to me too. I'm going to tell you why. Coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of props and odds, things that you can use to get in on the action. The NFL season is almost here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with an offer that you can't miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets. If you've listened to this show a lot, you know it changes throughout the year. So if you've been waiting for your opportunity, sometimes it's at $150, sometimes it's $200. It's $300 right now. Bet on something you know is a can't miss. Go there and find something. Maybe it's that Packers-Cowboys game, and you're like, there's just no way that the Cowboys are going to win that game at all. You can bet on that. You can bet on all kinds of other things. Let's see if they even have. They got to have that game. They don't have that game on yet. They have the first game of the season, though, Cowboys-Eagles. Cowboys are 7.5-point underdog. They're plus 285 for the game. Eagles are minus 355. So if you feel real confident, like there's no way the Cowboys are going to beat that Eagles team, put that $5 on. You get $300 in bonus bets plus what you win if that first bet wins. So you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet today. Please gamble responsibly.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
All right, Isaac, we're talking about our Mavs fan survey, the results. We got them back. And we've been talking about, should Nico get fired? 71% of you said yes. Do you give Nico credit for getting Cooper Flagg? 94% of you said no. Jason Kidd, 67% of you said you think that he should get an extension, which I was a little surprised by. And then this one, last one about management. I just worded this question this way. I think Patrick Dumont is ... Bad for the Mavs, good for the Mavs, not a factor. And then one of them we put on there was I miss Mark Cuban was one of the options. Going into this, which one do you think would have gotten the most hits, the most votes?
Like going into the survey?
Yeah, before we put it out.
I would have guessed bad would have gotten just because of the trade, and obviously there's some political stuff with the family and stuff too. So sure. I would guess bad would be the highest percentage.
47% I miss Mark Cuban.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
That was wild to me. That was so high.
I mean, I guess that does kind of combine with bad for if you're missing the past owner.
It does. And so I think this goes along with the no confidence in management theme that we've kind of got going here with Nico Harrison and now with Patrick Dumont.
I mean, what was the percentage for good for the Mavs?
2.6%. Even smaller than the percentage of people that think that Nico Harrison should get credit for getting Cooper Flagg.
Patrick, I hope you skipped forward past this one.
Well, let's be clear. We know he's listened to the show. He has said that to me in person.
Friend of the pod, Patrick Dumont.
Patrick Dumont. And he,
Patrick, come on the show and we can talk about this survey.
Mark Cuban was on our friends, the DLS show, and he said that now Patrick Dumont can have basketball conversations with him, and that they've been talking about, different defensive strategies and, 5-out offenses and things like that. And he's been talking about analytics with him and all kinds of things like that. And I think we should get some credit for that.
Yeah.
But I think that the idea of people saying they miss Mark Cuban to me is still surprising, because I was there. We've been covering the Mavs for a decade. How many times did this fan base complain about Mark Cuban and about how he meddled and how he did so many things? Like it can be worse on the other side. And I don't know that it necessarily is with Patrick Dumont. I don't think he's done enough to me to have a full slate of like, all right, this is what he is as an owner. He had the one decision with the Luka trade very early in his tenure as the governor, and obviously it was a mistake. And then you have the way that it was handled afterwards and how the PR was handled afterwards and from the top down and everything. And that seemed to be a mistake. The secret press conference seemed to be pressured by Patrick Dumont to happen, and that seemed like it was a mistake. Like we've seen a couple things. We've seen a couple things like that. But I don't know. We don't have a big enough body of work to know exactly what he's going to be like as an owner.
Yeah,
Matt Ishbia for the Suns. We do know enough. We do know enough at this point. That guy has done. He's done enough that I know that is not a good owner at this point. But
I think the cherry on top for Dumont's ownership will be this new arena, more than anything. I mean, because mainly because Mark Cuban has very openly said that the real estate part of it is stuff he just had no experience in, and why he was, having those conversations with, the Dumonts and Adelsons and stuff. And so once that arena gets built, or that entertainment district, Rick Welts is heading up and all the stuff, and fans see that here in Dallas, like, I think it will be pretty safe to say that like something like that wouldn't happen without the Dumonts. And I think that will gain him some favor with the fan base then, but that's going to be a while.
I don't think that will change anything for the fan base, to be honest.
Really?
Yep. Unless it's insane and awesome and everybody
but
loves
it's a long ways from now, and it's going to be insane and awesome. It's going to be, it's going to like rival Chase Center and all the stuff. So it's like, it's going to be something that Dallas hasn't had.
There's 20,000 people that go to Mavs games, right? Like each game. Mm-hmm. I think the majority of the fan base doesn't go to games because they live other places, or they can go to like one a year or something like that. I just don't think I just don't think an arena moves the needle enough to change something like this, like a roster move does. A roster move obviously changes the needle a lot, fans. And that's why I think that 35% said he's bad for the Mavs outright. And 47% said miss Mark Cuban. So majority, right? What is that? Like close to 82% either miss Mark Cuban or say that Patrick Dumont is bad for the Mavs. 14% said he's not a factor, which I found interesting.
Okay, let me say this. A year from now, Dumont comes out and fires Nico. How much does that percentage change?
Yeah, I think a personnel change like that can help. But maybe do people
personnel change?
I mean,
it's the most diplomatic way of saying that.
That's what it is. That's what it is. What, a canning? You want to talk about a canning? I mean,
well, I'm just saying that like it's all about Nico, not just like any personnel out there or any type of change. We just seen 70% of this survey says that he should be fired now.
They give him what they want.
I would say, even if you think that the rest of the fan base, is different than these, couple thousand people, I would still put money down that it's over 50% that would still want him fired. If you polled every Mavs fan out there. So yeah, I think at some point if Dumont does that, then in a weird way, I think it'll get some fans, back on his side. But then at the same time, he kind of empowered him and allowed it to happen too. So
this Mavs team is good. They don't trade Cooper Flagg. He fires Nico Harrison, and then the Mavs new arena is awesome. Are those are the three things he can do to earn points from Mavs fans? I mean,
I think there's other like smaller things of stuff you could do to, I think money means a lot to people. So it's like, do you make
just send a check to everybody?
No, I just think there's different things that you can do as an owner of lowering prices on something, or Mavs TV, something, doing something that affects a lot of fans.
Yeah.
But you can't bank on that because they didn't give their employees bonuses after a finals run. So it's not like, you can point at it. A lot of stuff. I don't know what has happened behind the scenes over the past like 6 months with him. So he could have been doing more stuff that I don't know. But anyway,
it has been quiet on that front for sure.
But okay, let me say this. Or one more thing. It is another reminder though. It's like when the trade happened, and then all the fallout and all the stuff that happened. And, I was like posting this meme for a while, but I honestly just got tired of posting the meme of it's been 0 days since we're reminded that that this was the worst trade or it was an awful trade. And like, you look at it, that trade was so bad that in the midst of an NFL season's about to start, in the dead heat of like nothing's happening in the NBA offseason right now, that an NFL player gets traded. I get that it's the Cowboys. I get it. And it's connected to Mavs and all that. But an NFL player gets traded, and I'm seeing Nico Harrison's face all over my timeline and his name and Luka's face and all the stuff again. And you're just reminded all over again of holy crap. Like it can just never fully go away. And I know some of you are so pissed in the comments. If you made it this far, thanks. And you're like, why are you still talking about it and all this stuff? There's a lot of reasons why we're still talking about the survey, Micah's trade today and all this stuff. Like,
it's the one reason why there's no confidence in Nico Harrison. They think he should be fired. Literally the only one. Like, what are the other ones, right? Like, there was no reason to think that Nico should be fired before that trade, and now there is, and that was what we were going to talk about today. And then the Micah trade happened, and it was just such an easy parallel.
But it's like that's the another like wave of it that just like you can never fully get over it because you're constantly reminded of it. I don't even know of like what an analogy would be of like getting broken up with in high school, and then I don't know, like. It's like you got a tattoo while you're in the relationship, so you have this girl's name on your arm or something. And it's like the rest of your life. Like
I saw a picture of a guy that took a picture with Taylor Swift when she was in like high school, and he said that they dated in high school. I don't know if it's true or not, but let's say that is true. That guy would feel that. What if he dumped Taylor Swift in high school and then now he sees everything she's doing now? Like that would be the scenario.
Yeah, just getting reminded every day.
Every day, and every day her love songs and everything. That happens. That could have been you. You could have been buying the $550,000 ring.
Was that really how much it was?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Now, Kelsey made $17 million last year. So if you make $100,000, that's basically you're buying a $3,000 ring. If you compare the.
Well, Kelsey plays offense. I heard defense gets you rings.
Well, that's why they didn't win the ring last year.
Yeah.
They didn't have the defense. They didn't win championship.
You can see that vision of Kelsey's.
Our audience is so mad at us today.
You can.
I can
shooting
feel
the shot with
seething.
Taylor Swift. You know what that's an example of? Fortune favoring the bold.
Okay. Thanks for hanging out with us today on the show. It's another big moment for
Luka.
College football fans. Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. My boy Drake Toll. Love Drake Toll. Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation alongside two-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, former Cowboy as well, and Locked On local experts at college football preview. Only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Amazon Fire TV. Go check out that show. And then we'll be back on Monday. We'll have a Labor Day show talking more about the fan survey results. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.